I'd like to talk about some of the differences between small deals and large deals. So firstly, why would I want to discuss this? So we sit on the board of a company, and the company has done quite a lot of organic growth and starts to think about inorganic growth. So a sensible board says, right, prove that you know what you're doing with M&A by doing a few small deals. So there's obviously lots of nuances to doing deals. You need to prove yourself. We'll then let you do some medium-sized deals, and then you can do a large transformational style deal. Obviously, a sensible board wouldn't want you going after a large deal without having at least shown you know what you're doing. So having done one or many small deals, and I come across companies that have maybe done even 50 or 100 small deals or medium-sized deals, and thinking about doing a substantially larger deal. So let's just discuss some of the differences, and there's going to be many, but starting to think about the detailed plans that you need. So firstly, you're going to have a checklist. When we're looking at small deals, we can have an experienced management team, and they can be good enough to get us through a small deal without a checklist and without detailed plans. They might have done plans that seem detailed and seem to have everything in, but as we go through our integration planning and actually delivery, we realize there's lots of things that haven't been planned fully and some things that haven't been planned at all. Now, if we've got a good management team around a small deal, they have the bandwidth and the experience to be able to sort out those problems as they pop up. As we move to larger deals, we obviously need fewer of those issues, because those issues are going to be larger and compounded, and there's going to be many more. So if you were to imagine a small deal buying 100 people, if we notionally came up with a number and said, oh, there was going to be 5 issues that we need to resolve, I'm just making that up. If we were to buy a 1,000-person company running across 3 divisions and 3 companies, we might say that there's going to be 9 times as many issues. So really, this is discussion about what problems are there going to be. Can we spot them early? Can we resolve them or plan them? And so there is quite a large difference between running a small deal and running larger deals. Obviously, also, one of the discussions around running a larger deal is that the management team have less of an understanding as to how their company works. So if you're running a company with 100, 500, 1,000 people, it's very plausible that you understand how your company works. As we move to companies with 5, 10,000 people, it's quite obvious that the executives, when we sit down and say, right, explain and describe our company and the target company. Obviously, due diligence helps us understand the target company to a certain extent, but it's obvious that we don't fully understand our own company in detail exactly how it works. So thinking about better planning as we get to larger, more complex deals. The next thing that it becomes obvious to me as I do small, medium and large deals and looking at roll-ups is the lack of backup plans or backup thinking in larger deals. So it doesn't necessarily need to happen in smaller deals because we've got a good management team that's on top of the small deal and has the bandwidth and knowledge to be able to sort out problems. But as we get to larger, more complex deals, that may not be possible. And so we start to think about all the things that could go wrong. So what if day one doesn't go exactly as we had planned? What are the things that might go wrong, and what are our backup plans? Now, obviously, spending more time and effort thinking about what can go wrong and planning better, and spending more time and effort having backup plans is costly. And so there will be a different way of thinking about more complex deals, larger deals, even mid-sized deals, where we just need a better understanding of what might happen and what might need to be put in place to make sure it doesn't happen. So thinking about the extra money to be spent to do that, and that's obviously a management decision as to how far we go. Again, pretty obvious. I'm assuming that everyone will realize there's more politics in larger deals. We've got countries, divisions, we've got larger numbers of people, and larger numbers of people vying for position, power, larger budgets. And so whereas with a smaller deal or a smaller company, this can all be focused on a particular person, an MD, or maybe a small management team. As we get to larger, more complex deals, we've got many management teams, many MDs, many people in positions of power, and so a lot more politics. And so that again goes with the understanding of how deals work. And as we move to larger deals, really not just the planning, but an understanding of how people are going to interact and act during the deal process, during the integration, the decisions we're making and things we're going to do and how that affects people. And then another big thing that crops up is as we have, if we imagine a small project, you might be able to retain all of that knowledge in your brain, and you might be able to run a small project without really writing too much down or planning. As we get to a small deal, that might become more complex and we need plans. As we come to a larger deal, we're going to have a lot more plans, and there's going to be things that fall between the gaps. So if I think of planning HR and planning IT, well, we're going to have an HR IT system, and we're going to have people working on the IT system. So where do those fall and how do those interact? Is that HR? Is that IT? Who's planning that? Now, if we have a small company, a small deal, all the executives know each other very well. As we get to larger deals, more complexity, it's the case that the people in the work streams, in the divisions, in the different countries don't know each other, and so things can fall through the gap. So we need to think about the cross-functional issues that are going to crop up between any function. If we look at the processes that are going across the businesses and the functional areas, we need to understand what those are, and if you've done lots of deals, you know some of the problems that are going to pop up. So just thinking about the cross-functional workstream issues and how we're going to resolve those, and to a certain extent that's sharing plans and having cross-workstream meetings where we have everybody in the room and we move through and spot issues and resolve them. My name's Danny Davis. I help plan and run the European side of a $6 billion deal, 30 work streams in 30 countries. I wrote the book M&A Integration, How to Do It. You can see it here and find it on Amazon. I've been a guest speaker at London Business School for more than 2 decades on the topic of M&A integration. I consult, I coach, I teach, I train M&A integration, both pre-deal and post-deal. Here's my email address and my phone number. Send me an email. I look forward to talking to you.